The Human Torch is a really fun duelist in Marvel Rivals who can chaotically control space like no one else, and I'm going to show you how to play him. Keep in mind that this is a beginner's guide. I have early access to the character ahead of release, and once the character comes out, I'll be making an advanced guide after I can properly test all of the advanced tips for high-level ranked play. With that said, there's still plenty to learn here, so let's jump right into it. The Human Torch's character-defining ability is his Blazing Blast, so you do your secondary attack and it just rains fire from the sky, creates a nice area of effect, and of course, as you would expect, anybody touching that fire gets burned, but really where this shines is when you connect it. So check this out. Boom, boom, boom. I hit E, which is on a cooldown ability, and now anybody in this shape is going to take damage, and of course anybody passing through the lines of fire is going to take damage. So this makes the Human Torch an unbelievably good area of control character, because look at this. If you want to, let's say, box everybody into these rooms here, let's say you do this like so. Now you create this triangle that nobody really wants to go into. I could have done that a little bit better. I'll do it in just a second again. But the way that you want to be using Torch is to control space, because if you're controlling space, you're basically eliminating the options that the other team has. Now, real players are not going to want to walk through this like these brain dead AIs here that just, follow a set path. So you're going to want to use these abilities at any natural choke points that come from the geometry. So like any doorways or things like that. And you're also going to want to be using these abilities when you're fighting over the objective or just to seal the enemy team off, or really just to prevent them from going anywhere you don't want them to go. And the nice thing about this is that once you get used to doing this, whether you're connecting your fire or not, it's going to become easily predictable what the enemy is going to do. Because again, nobody's going to want to be able to, nobody is going to want to take damage from fire, right? So if you're doing it at key choke points, you're going to be able to direct where they actually go and how they retreat. So Johnny really is the master of controlling space, but it gets better because check this out. So you rain down fire and now you hit F and boom, now you lunge at it, make it explode, you do more damage, you send the enemy back. Your lunge is really fantastic. It's a great offensive and defensive tool, which we'll get to in just a sec. But here, let's say that you are watching a team fight happen and you create this zone of control. The fire's coming down, the enemy's losing HP bit by bit. As they're about to die, finish them off with the lunge. What's it called again? The Flaming Meteor. That's right, your F key. So this ability is such a nice offensive combo. You create the zone that you're controlling, you set it on fire, and then you go in for the elimination. But of course, you want to be careful because you only want to use it when you're certain that you're going to be landing those eliminations. You don't want to just waste it, because if you lunge in, the enemy is just going to start firing on you if you, didn't take them out. Now, the thing about the lunge is that I was showing you how to use it offensively there, but you can use it defensively. So if we were to pretend these guys were shooting at me and I needed to get behind cover or something like that, I just, lunge over there. Now, the thing is, you may have heard me press the key multiple times there. You need to be lounging. You need to be lunging downwards. So if you do it towards the horizon or something like that, well, that time it worked. It was at a good enough angle. But if you do it something like that, it won't work, right? So I'm pressing it right now, but it's not down enough. So I move my aimer a bit more down. Notice in the bottom right, the F key lights up. So up and it disappears, but down and it's activated. So up, it disappears, down, it activates. You can only do this downwards. What the game counts as downwards, maybe can be a little bit finicky at times depending on your perspective, but just keep that in mind. So the lunge, the Flaming Meteor, you can use it to attack and lunge like that, or you can use it to just get away from the action when you need to. Another nice thing about the Human Torch's kit is that he does have this sprint, and it's a pretty long one. So you have this meter here that just recharges on its own over time. But what you can do is you can use that sprint to combo into your lunge if you need to. So you just go like this, and then you're like, oh, actually, I want to lunge right out of it. Boom, you lunge right out of it. Just keep in mind, you have to aim downwards for that lunge. So once again, you sprint, and then boom, you lunge down. Now, the thing is, when you're playing against high skill level opponents, most likely you're not going to be lunging in on them because, they're going to get out of the triangle or something like that. But once you have a triangle like this set up, you can just pepper them with your basic attack. Your normal attack does critical damage. So it has headshots. And of course, at long range, it's not going to be doing the most damage in the world. But when you combine the fact that you're causing the enemy to panic with your area of control, you're doing area of effect damage on them, and you're going to stack your normal attack on top of that, it does become a potent combo, especially when you consider the fact that you're not going to be the only one firing at these enemies. You have your teammates doing it as well. So really, your bread and butter is twofold, right? You control space, and then you either lunge in to finish opponents off, or if you're not lunging in, you pepper them and try to get those critical hits. Now let's talk about Supernova, your ultimate. So you hit Q and you do a little explosion, it does damage, but really where your ultimate shines is that you can just spam these giant crazy fire tornadoes during the time that your ultimate is active, and it's absolutely insane. The damage, the length that they stay up for, the area of effect that they do, it's just wild. I mean, look at them. Look at how crazy this is. There's a little bit of extra spam here because I have abilities on no cooldown, so it's not quite as crazy as this when you're actually using it. But my goodness, you just go into your ultimate, right? And then you just keep spam them all you want. And this is going to be really great for controlling basically any area of play. So if the opponent's, sneaking up on the objective or something like that, you can just immediately start pushing them back with your ultimate. But it gets better because your ultimate actually combos with Storm, who is immensely powerful herself. So we're going to let Storm pop her ultimate here. There's another way to do this, but we're going to show you the long way first. So she's going to pop her ultimate here. Maybe we didn't coordinate with her, so we pop our ultimate afterwards. And now we can fire our tornado into her ultimate. And now her tornado is crazier, it's bigger, it does more damage, it's on fire, it's just bananas. But let me show you the sort of clean way of doing this. So the way I just showed you, it's the long way. It's the way that you're probably going to be doing it if you're in solo queue, not on the comms, don't have a coordinated team. But if you are coordinating with Storm, when she's about to pop her ultimate, you just hit X and immediately you go into your ultimate and she goes into this fire mode. And of course, you can still spam your tornadoes all you want. I almost can't believe this stuff because the amount of area that you can control as Storm and the Human Torch is insane. Look at this. Oh my goodness. But even without the Storm team up, the amount of area that you control as the Human Torch with your ultimate is just bananas. Of course, there is the Invisible Woman team up as well. So it's the same team up that you get from being any Fantastic Four member. As long as you're with Invisible Woman, you just hit C, you get these little recharging shields, just a little bit of extra health. It's not the biggest game changer in the world, but it is nice. And when I was making my Invisible Woman guide, I noticed that a lot of people playing as a Fantastic Four member, which back then would have just been Mr. Fantastic, they kind of neglected to use this. I don't know why. It's probably just something easy to forget, but you do want to use this as often as you can because it's just extra health. It doesn't hurt. So the main takeaway with the Human Torch is that he controls zones, he controls areas, he just spaces people out. So really what you want to be doing is setting areas on fire, denying the enemy those areas, peppering them with your regular attack, maybe even lunging in to finish them off. And again, I don't really know how they're going to balance this, but I can't wait to use the torch in ranked multiplayer. So again, if you want to see my advanced guide on the Human Torch, that's going to be coming soon after he releases publicly. I'm going to be testing him out against high-level opponents, high-ranked lobbies. So you're going to be getting those advanced tips to help you climb through, whatever rank you're at. And especially if you're in solo queue, I tend to tailor my tips for solo queue players because that's just the most common thing. So thanks so much for watching, folks. Human Torch is amazing. I love him. I can't wait to play more with him. Be sure to like and subscribe for more, and I'll see you next time.